We have a fantastic fireside coming up for you now. Long before Recommerce became one of retail's biggest growth stories, eBay was already building the foundations of the circular economy. But staying at the top in 2026 means constantly reinventing that model and continuous innovation. So please, would you be as kind as to give a very warm welcome to eBay's General Manager, Fashion of Luxury, EU at eBay, Kirsty Keoghan. Hiya. Welcome to Deliver.
Hello.
Is it delivering so far for you?
Delivering so far. First day, yes.
Yes,
Energy.
I think so. Lots of energy in the room. Kirsty, I know you're so busy, so thank you for sparing the time. You have literally just flown in from New York.
Yes.
What were you doing in New York?
Oh, New York actually was really exciting. So every year we run a circular fashion fund where we ask any business that's doing anything to promote circularity, sustainability in the fashion industry to put themselves forward, and then eBay gives them some mentoring, introduces them and builds the network, and then we invest in the final business. So it was our grand global final in New York.
Do we know the winner yet, or is that to be announced?
I think it's announced.
Okay,
yeah.
Fantastic. So they get mentoring, there's a financial element of it, and I guess building into a network a legacy of knowledge, which is what eBay has when it comes to sustainability and growth.
Exactly. I think, interestingly, the feedback that we get from most businesses is the money is great and investing in their business is great, but actually the thing they find most valuable is the mentoring. Like, how do I speak to my customers? How do I think about logistics? How do I think about my CRM capabilities? It's all of that idea generation that these founders find most useful.
It's so exciting because behind you on the screen, there's the most incredible image of fashion moments there, the Met Gala. And, you know, there's nothing more kind of impactful, I think, of these social moments where you're really grabbing attention. But this is where eBay can be seen. You are creating gasps there amongst the glitterati. It's not perhaps the association many of us carry when we think of the eBay we all started out with. You've grown up with us. How has that been, and why do you think Recommerce is coming to the heart of matter for so many more consumers today?
I mean, look, I think there's a few reasons why Recommerce is what it is today, effectively. I mean, eBay's been going for 30 years. I've been there for half of its time, so 15 years. So there's been a lot of change. And I think there's a few reasons. I think customers, like, honestly, most customers generally, the hard cold facts is they've got less money, right? And so people have to find value, and not cheap. They find value in different ways, and that's where I think eBay really comes into its own. So it could be a customer that needs to buy school uniform or something to wear to an event, and they've only got a small amount of money, so, you know, 10, 15 pounds or euros or dollars. But value also can mean that I want to treat myself and I want to spend £500 on a handbag. And so that's where eBay provides great value for customers, no matter what money you want to spend on those items. And, you know, not just for fashion. You know, I work in the fashion team, but you can, you know, come and find value in all of our categories. So home and garden, buying a part for your car, for example. But I also think nowadays customers are more mindful about how they spend their money. Not all of them, but, like, granted, I think we still need to do some more work there. But I think customers these days generally care about our planet. They're more aware about the impact that they're having. And so coming to buy something secondhand is a great option for thinking about the environment and making better choices. And if you get a great deal and you've saved something going to landfill, then that's, you know, double good, right?
It's like win-win. But I think it's very interesting when people start to compartmentalize consumers and look at particular age ranges and say, oh, well, they're more environmentally friendly or they care about it more. It's not the case, not in any research I've ever been involved in. And there is very much this pick and mix ethic when it comes to the decision making around it. As you said, some of it's very linear. What can I afford? Some of it can be quite exciting, though. And just to go off your category for a minute, Pokemon cards, for instance. Like if you want to chase them all, you're going to have to probably chase them all on eBay to find the ones you want. So it's also this directory of available goods, just not available through any other retailer. How are you helping when it comes to letting people find their own eBay, find their identity with it, so that it's so kind of enormous in terms of the offer, but people can feel, yes, I'm into fashion, they're talking my language. How are you doing that?
I mean, it's interesting what you just said about customers, right? So, yeah, it's absolutely not just a Gen Z, perhaps millennial game, as a lot of people think shopping pre-loved is. You know, interestingly, I have worked in the fashion industry a lot longer than I've worked at eBay. And what I used to do to pay for my holidays with my friends was sell samples, sell stuff out of my wardrobe. I used to spend my Sundays uploading stuff. And that's how I paid for me to do things that I perhaps couldn't afford to do. And so there's a lot of people that are of all generations that think about shopping pre-loved first. And some of the sort of things that we've done to like really invest in the experience is, I think if you are going to make the decision that you're going to buy something secondhand or pre-loved, or for some people it's even I'm going to buy something online when I haven't seen it, touched it, felt it. The most important thing is absolutely trust, and our customers tell us that all the time. And it doesn't matter what generation you are. It's really important about trust. I do think younger customers this is just the way that they've always shopped, right? And so they know what to look for. And that's why we spend a lot of investment in thinking about authenticity guarantee, which is effective. If you buy a luxury fashion item, we will, look, as it comes up the slide,
I know.
We will step in and authenticate that item. We work with our sellers to make sure they provide really clear listings so that customers have complete confidence when shopping online and shopping secondhand.
So talk to us about this then, because I think it's so important. You mentioned trust. It's easy to say it, it's hard to earn it. How do you take someone through the process that you are going to have their back? Like, that's literally what it is, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean in terms of getting involved with the process? How hands-on is eBay with something like this?
Yeah. So one thing is I would say, if you've not brought on eBay, like why haven't you? But number one, if you do buy on eBay, we have an eBay money back guarantee. So it doesn't matter whether you're buying a luxury handbag, whatever you're buying, if something goes wrong, we have a money back guarantee. So first and foremost, customers are always protected and we have your back. I think the reason why we launched Authenticity Guarantee for fashion, it's now available in trading cards and we're looking at other categories, is because customers just wanted that extra reassurance when they're buying perhaps a luxury or a vintage or a more unique item. And so what will happen is if you buy a luxury watch, handbag, jewelry, scarf, jacket, jumper, trading card, what will happen is you as a seller will ship that directly to our authentication center. You might not even know, right, when you've sold one of these items, because there's nothing you need to do. It's auto opt-in, and then the item will go off to our authentication center, and we have a range of experts that will hand check that item. We will check the quality of that item. Is it as you said it was? So if you listed it and told me it was in excellent condition and the authenticators receive it and it wasn't, that's really important when you're buying a handbag or a watch.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll look at the condition and then we'll also check for its authenticity. And then that item then will be given a badge and then sent on in directly to the customer. And that literally adds like a day or two to the whole shipping experience. And customers really value that.
Like rooms full of experts then?
Rooms full of experts. So, for example, our watches are authenticated by our partner Stoll, who have years and years of experience authenticating watches. Our handbags authenticators are all from the handbags industry. They also use like entropy technology to authenticate that. And so we have all these different rooms, and they all authenticate based on their experience and their speciality. And then the one thing that I just want to sort of like call out, which I also think is so incredible about it, is for most items it is free. So this is all paid for by eBay, because we know confidence and trust are the things that will help a customer to convert.
So the seller doesn't pay, the buyer doesn't pay, this is covered by you.
Yeah.
And it's a day or so in the middle.
Yeah, Exactly. But the great thing is sellers love it as well. And they love it because if that buyer receives the item and they decide, that handbag doesn't suit me or the watch is not for me, they send it back, not directly to the consumer, they send it back into our authentication center so that we can make sure that we're verifying that they're sending back the item that was originally sent out to them. So sellers love it because it avoids any fraud. But that, interesting at an event like this was a huge lift for us. eBay does not own any goods. And this is the only time we ever touch goods when they come through our authentication center. So this was a whole new thing that we had to stand up, thinking about logistics, the boxes. We spent a lot of time thinking about the unboxing experience, because I think if you buy a luxury item or a trading card, you want to receive it in packaging that, makes you feel like, great, I've had a lovely experience, as I would do if I'd have gone and brought it new.
Sure. Let me just understand, though, because this is an international conference. Is that available to everyone?
Yes, it's available in UK, US, Germany, and Australia, Canada, and we are launching in more markets soon. So watch this space.
Very exciting. I want to kind of come on to the psychology as well, Kirsty, because I think that's an interesting step change. Perhaps not one that eBay can say they have wholly owned, but there is something now where the embarrassment factor's gone.
Yeah.
There was very much the awkwardness of, even perhaps when you were selling as a younger person, trying to get that holiday money. Oh, I've just bought it from Kirsty. Oh, I bought it secondhand. I've bought it from my mate. I remember trying to buy Levi's off a market stall because we just couldn't afford them any other way. Now there's kudos when it comes to it. And you're really leaning into that as a brand.
Yeah.
Tell us how you're doing that.
Exactly. So I would have said 5 or 6 years ago, I'm still not sure you would have had loads of people saying, oh, I brought that secondhand. Oh, I brought that on eBay or wherever I got it. And that's why, number one, we built the foundations of having a great shopping experience with changing our site, how you browse, authenticity guarantee. But what we've done is really put eBay at the heart of mainstream culture. So, having an item sourced from eBay and curated from eBay would not naturally have been the place that you'd have seen it at the Met Gala.
I mean, I know about this item, but just give the audience a little bit of insight, because it's a fabulous collaboration.
Yeah, so the dress that you see in front of us that Cesar's is wearing is all of the dress was put together, made and sourced by all items off of eBay to create something new. So you can buy something and just rewear something, but this also shows that you can buy curtains and fabric and all the detailing that went on there. So we worked with a stylist to create this look in collaboration, really to put Pre-Loved at the heart of the mainstream conversation where you don't normally see it. And I think that's really powerful with some of our other relationships. So if you take in the UK, Love Island, so we have now been the sponsor for that for quite a few years. That seems to be the thing, whatever country I'm in, I get asked most about is Love Island UK and what's the goss. And it just started this week as well. So
did it?
Yeah.
I mean, my immediate thought of Love Island isn't always associated with lots of garments, if I'm being honest, Kirsty. They don't seem to parade themselves in a lot.
Well, they do get dressed in the evening.
Yes, but they do get dressed in the evening. Yes.
Yeah. And I think what we did there is we broke that history of it being a fast fashion partner putting clothes into the villa for the contestants to wear. And actually what's interesting is we had no idea how that partnership was going to go, because a lot of people think they're not really wearing clothes. Yeah. But actually, these days, people don't go out in the same way that they do. They think about what they're going to dress, how that makes them feel, people's individuality. That's why I think Pre-Loved and marketplaces are so interesting for perhaps the younger generation. And they're having a conversation about the decisions that they've made and what they're going to wear.
And I'm just aware this is like coming up again on the slide where you can see the watch list. You are very, therefore, aware of trends, probably ahead of the curve of many more people who sit in traditionally a more fashion-forward role, because you are just seeing those searches live.
Yeah, and that is the beauty of eBay, the millions and millions of listings that we've got. We spend a lot of time also investing in helping people, like we call it, unlock the wardrobe. So how do you take the stuff that's in your wardrobe that you're not wearing? For some people, that's cash that they could have in their pocket to buy something else. And then, but for our buyers, that's super interesting inventory or stock, because it means that they can come and buy the original 90s fashion and not a something 90s fashion look. And now we see if someone is wearing something, or there's a film moment. For example, there's loads of searches for 90s Prada right now because that's on trend. I wouldn't have thought when I joined eBay 15 years ago, we would have been the person showing up in that cultural moment. But actually now, stylists, the magazines, they're all coming to us and saying, oh my God, you've got all this amazing 90s Prada. Like, how can we work with you to surface that to our customers? And so that's what's great about our width and breadth of all the inventory that we have available globally.
And I think there's one salient point that keeps coming back. As someone who's personally been on a sustainability drive for such a long time, sustainability can be very unsexy. It's a very difficult sell. You've used the word Recommerce all the way through it, but even with the Met Gala outfit, it was hugely sustainable. It's reuse and repurpose, and it's engaging, I think, communities in a way that takes away perhaps that it's got to be a fixed box of what sustainability looks like.
It's interesting because, I mean, we've talked about this before. I hate all the different words that everybody uses: Recommerce, sustainability, pre-loved. And actually, I think it makes it really difficult for people to understand what it all means. And so one thing that I advocate in the industry is that we try to make it as simple as possible, because it shouldn't be complicated. There is a lot of sexy stuff that you're seeing on the screens, our partnerships and the things that we try to do to make shopping pre-love more relevant. But Recommerce is a lot of what I spend my time doing. And I say Recommerce because we think about not just how we're showing up for customers, but how we think about some of the unsexy stuff. How do we put partnerships in place so that you saw there was on the screen, there was Marks and Spencer's, but we have partnerships with Reiss, Lululemon, lots of other brands, where brands were coming to us and saying, you've been doing this for 30 years. How can we get involved in pre-loved and take back? And, again, they didn't know what they wanted to be involved in. And interestingly, we've spent a lot of time thinking about how we can put the right partnerships in place to support brands so they can also embrace Recommerce as well. And so the Marks and Spencer's example is a great one, because we've talked very publicly about that, as you as a customer can go into a Marks and Spencer store or online, and you've got Marks and Spencer's plus whatever else you might have, and you can send that off, and then we've got a partner, Reskin, that will do all the hard work for you. So you'll get your money back for that, because you might not be interested in selling it, and that's okay. That's not for everyone. I would encourage you all to do it, because I think you'll get more money. But and then we will take those items, we will list them and sell them on behalf of Marks and Spencer's on eBay. And so we spend a lot of time in the background trying to really think about how we power the circular economy. And that's why our, the Circular Innovation Fund that you asked me about at the beginning is so important. We've been doing that for 3 years now. And along the way, we've met so many interesting entrepreneurs that are all coming together to, I would take what was quite a nascent industry where everyone was solving a tiny little piece of the problem. And many of our partners now all work together to come up with really turnkey sustainable solutions for people, where Recommerce can make brands profit, can make individuals profit as well.
And that's what I want to just finish on, really. It's so apparent that eBay could have been very transactional for a long time and successful at it, but you're going so far beyond the transaction. Yeah. You're really leading the conversation. There's a lot of organizations in this room that I think will probably say, well, we're busy enough doing the day job. It seems that it was a brave move. Is it working for you? And what's next in that beyond the transaction, I guess?
I think that if we really want to create a more circular, sustainable future for fashion, we can't just keep doing what we're doing. We always say, our responsibility is, whilst we don't own stock, how can we make it easier for others to think about sustainability? And that's why we've acquired a business called Certilogo, and they provide digital authentication, DPPs, because we know if you think about the future of Recommerce and you're not thinking about the how you design products, how are you ever going to solve the problem at the end? Our job at the moment is to extend the life cycle of those items. Yeah. But really, if we want more people embracing Recommerce and thinking about how we how they use it, you've got to think about it from design, traceability, and all the other things. So yes, we do a lot of things that our customers don't necessarily see, but we're doing that so that we can invest in the future. And another one, we haven't even spoke about it, but I can see the timer, is AI. Like that for us has been something we've been using for years to make it easier for customers to list stuff, easier for people to find things, and helping us just do more quickly, right? I think that's what ultimately everyone wants to do.
Well, everyone wants speed and efficiency, don't they? But I think what's exciting about the organisation is I think we could have all imagined the trajectory that you went on, and you've actually just done that and so much more. And it's celebratory of sustainability. So thank you for all the work you're doing there. But it actually feels like it's really enriching for the end user too.
Sorry, what was that?
It feels it's very enriching for the end user too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we've got more work to do to make it easier for our customers to find stuff. But the other interesting thing is I don't want to lose that sort of like secret passion and secret sauce that we've got, right? The thrill of the hunt. Like there's some of that where when you find something, you feel so great about it when it turns up. And so I don't want to, we always say we want shopping fashion on eBay to feel like you're shopping on, like a new site because you don't think about it. But I also think that's what truly makes us unique and exciting and interesting when you can make sure that you make that a bit easier for customers. So, yeah, love that.
It's been phenomenal. People can find out more, find you on LinkedIn, have a chat with you today. Thank you so much for telling us what eBay are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kirsty Keoghan.